Okay, so I'm just going to make a series of videos for some of the students of Grand Rapids District Pipe Band or anybody else that I've been working with. There are a zillion resources out there. This is certainly not meant to be a replacement to any of those, and definitely not meant to be a replacement to like an instructor for sure. But obviously, with all the stuff going on, we're stuck inside, and there's some stuff going on. So I kind of came up with a couple different exercise sheets that really I just want to run through with you. This isn't even necessarily, meant to be a tutorial or a teaching sort of thing. But here we go. So we have kind of the first and second scale broken down, which for us is just like the scale up and down all the notes, and then we kind of break out what G grace notes are and kind of has some practice there. So a good goal, especially for a grade 5, even a grade 4 player, is to be able to play all this stuff really cleanly at about 62 beats a minute. If you can do that, then you can be competing and you can be doing some of that stuff. We won't necessarily do this with a click. But you should be able to play along. So we're going to go ahead and play the first line. 1, 2, ready, play. So that's the first line. I know normally we go down to that low G, which is fine. You can end with that. Just the music doesn't have it in here. So then, make sure that you can run that a couple times. Most definitely, if you have any questions, let me know. Really watch for gracing. Or I'm sorry, really watch, not gracing, we're not there yet. Watch for crossing noises, especially between D and E. Nothing like... Really train your ear to listen for that stuff, and we want to make sure that we get rid of it. So moving on to the G grace note scale, we're going to start just with the G grace note, so kind of the second line, kind of here where we're looking at. So this is just making sure that we're nice and crisp, and we're super, super even. Like if we're going to play this with a metronome, we really want those to be right on the click, right? So 1, 2, ready, play. Right? Perfect. And then we're going to take those two things and we're going to combine them so that we come up with what our second scale is, which is just the G grace note scale, kind of up and down. 1, 2, ready, play. I actually think I had a little bit of a crossing noise in there, so we want to make sure that we really, really listen and get rid of those, especially between the D and E. That's a good exercise to be able to go back and forth between the D and the E note, like that. So, okay, and then kind of moving on to the next phase of there. I know we're moving really quick. If you have any specific questions, definitely reach out to me directly. I can break some things down. I can slow them down even if I need to. But this is just kind of a cursor to keep, like I said, keep our students going. So this next line here, we have it kind of broken into two parts. We have these two measures, and then we have these two measures. Who can tell me what the difference is? None of you are talking to me, so I don't know why I asked that question. But if you said that this side is D grace notes and this side is E grace notes, you would be correct. So this is just a mini exercise because after we get the G grace notes down, which again, they're meant to be infinitely small, just like rhythmic pieces of music that are there, right? They're meant to break things up. If our G grace note is our most important grace note, our Ds and our Es are second and third respectively. Okay, especially, you know, the two fingers, we want to get really, really crisp and really even, and we need them all to sound the same. Especially with your D grace notes, it's really easy to make them fatter. And I was actually talking to my teacher about this recently, and a lot of it can come from because you're lifting your fingers higher for whatever reason. Kind of what this sounds like, if we read the music here, and we are on this line. 1, 2, ready, play. And I know that can seem like a little like we're bouncy all around. If you want to, just like the G grace note scale, move up and down. And then, you know, with the E. Kind of move up and down, that's fine too. We're listening to make sure that all of the gracing is the same, you know, size, which I'm still working on a little bit. And then also we want to make sure that we're not hearing any notes before or after it, right? So, and what I mean by that is it needs to come on the beat. So it needs to sound like this. And not, or we need to make sure that it's the same. The other thing, when you're doing these exercises, you want to go as slow as you can to make them absolutely perfect. And, you know, it's very easy to start cheating, right? So if I'm going to do a scale like that, and I'm not putting my pinky down for the C, for example, that's a very common one that people, they start thinking about other stuff and then they're playing their C like this instead of a proper C like this. Really want to avoid that. Make sure that you're paying attention and minding all of that stuff. So that's kind of the first bit on gracing, I suppose. So then the next thing that we'd kind of go into is doublings. And the way that I have it broken down here, this is like what we would call the third scale or the doubling scale. And this is kind of what that looks like. And I'm going to play it right now. And if you can play it the way that I'm playing it, you can kind of ignore all this stuff up here. All this stuff kind of breaks it down a little bit. And it can be, I don't know, kind of weird. If you can just play this with me, what this is eventually going to sound like at a very, very slow, very, very even scale. 1, 2, ready, play. That's a doubling scale. Now, you want to make sure, like I said, everything is super even. And so what I've done up here is I've really broken it down so that, like, especially these three measures. And then kind of moving forward from here, we kind of go up the scale that way, right? So Okay, and I just realized there's a typo in here. These obviously can't go back and forth. So you guys are seeing it in real time. Starting with, so this would be an E doubling is what we're replicating here. Okay, and then kind of again, we get to our grace note scale here, which will sound 1, 2, ready, play. Right, but it just ends on the A there. So I'm going to go ahead and play this whole worksheet so that you can see it. I will get this exported as well as like a soundbite exported so that you can play this, but you should be able to play the whole thing again, and I can put it at different tempos and stuff. But let's go ahead and listen right now to the whole worksheet at 62. And so you can play along with it. So that's the whole worksheet. Obviously, the doublings down at the bottom, they're a lot quicker than we did them, right? And so eventually you'll get them that fast. But if you're just starting and that was like, whoa, that's so fast, I mean, really, really open them up. Okay, that's the first spreadsheet. This is my first video I made. If you got any feedback, if this isn't helpful, I know we kind of blew through a lot of stuff, so maybe it'll be more efficient if I break it down even more. But I'll have more coming, stuff, and then stuff for the band as a whole too. I don't know. I think we need to make sure that we keep working through all this. So if you guys have any questions or anything, definitely let me know. Thanks, dude.